You are listening to The Standards Desk of News from The Standard Show, the podcast that brings you the stories behind the standards with Matthew Childs and Cindy Paragill. Today's episode is for October 2023.
The Standards Desk of News is where we take a brief look at some of the news about standards and standards in the news. You can find the links to some of this month's stories in the show notes. Hey, Cindy Paragill.
Hey, Matthew Childs.
Well, shall we have the Standards Desk of News?
Yep, let's do it.
Yes, this is the Standards Desk of News. News about standards and standards in the news. This time for October 2023.
Yes, and we start with international research on standards and public policy.
We do. ISO has launched a research project to assess how international standards are referenced in national regulations across countries and jurisdictions. Standards can be referenced in national public policy and used to achieve various public policy objectives. Yet, many policymakers are not necessarily aware of the benefits, or sometimes even the possibility, of incorporating standards into national regulations. Or more specifically, they may not be aware of the different options for incorporating standards into regulations in practice.
So, the purpose of the research project is to develop a compendium of approaches to incorporating standards in national regulations. This is to serve as a guide to policymakers on different options available with recommendations on what to use and when. Talking of standards in public policy, ISO has published a toolkit for national standards bodies on this issue. It shows how international standards can support policymakers and regulators in preparing and delivering public policy and in developing technical regulations.
Nice. Now, earlier this month, it was all eyes, or should that be all AIs, on Amsterdam.
Oh, you do like these contorted headlines, don't you?
I cannot lie, AI, I do.
Oh, for goodness sake. Yes, since launching in 2017, World Summit AI has become an important event for the development of strategies on AI and spotlighting the worldwide applications, risks, benefits, and opportunities. It gathers the global AI ecosystem of enterprise, big tech, startups, investors, science, and academia every October in Amsterdam, with the aim of setting the global agenda. As well as covering the exciting potential for AI in tackling some of the great challenges we all face, such as the climate crisis, this year's event also addressed the critically important issue of AI governance.
It did indeed, and because of this, BSI was a partner for the event. We took part right across the programme through main stage keynotes, panel sessions and workshops, alongside our colleagues from ISO and the Standards Council of Canada. We talked about how international standards are important for developing trust in AI, through, for example, helping to embed ethical practices in AI developments and AI business operations.
Now, from news of new tech to news on a new global standards partnership program.
Yes, this is the news that a new partnership programme between the UK government and BSI has been launched for enhancing trade and boosting sustainable and inclusive growth in developing economies, all through the use of international standards. The Standards Partnership Programme, led by BSI in collaboration with the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, will be delivered in 11 countries and island regions, including Ethiopia, Ghana, India, Kenya and the Pacific Islands. Designed to increase economic stability, support job creation and poverty reduction, the programme builds on the success of a previous Standards Partnership pilot delivered in Ghana, Kenya, Rwanda and Uganda last year. It also builds on the achievements of the Commonwealth Standards Network programme, established in 2018, which has been awarded an extension for a third phase. And finally, a new international standard for healthcare management.
Yes, indeed. Global guidance designed to improve the experience of patients by embedding high quality across healthcare has been published. ISO 7101, Healthcare Organization Management, is the first ever international consensus standard on healthcare quality. Written by healthcare experts from 24 countries and in collaboration with over 40 national standards bodies, the standard contains guidance and requirements designed to help healthcare organizations become more efficient, more sustainable, and better able to comply with external legislation and regulation.
The standard is designed to enable the development of a healthcare management system that can deliver consistently higher quality healthcare. And its flexibility means it is applicable to all healthcare providers, from small clinics to major hospitals. And we should say that there will be a dedicated episode on the standard ISO 7101 coming very soon.
There will indeed.
And actually, finally, Cindy Parakill, we should say that October was the month of World Standards Day.
Yes, Matthew Charles. On the 14th of October every year, the international standards community, led by IEC, ISO, and ITU, comes together to celebrate World Standards Day. And to pay tribute, really, to the collaborative efforts of thousands of experts worldwide who get around the table, virtual and physical, to agree standards on all sorts of things that help to make the world a better, safer, and more enjoyable place. As in previous years, the theme was Standards for the SDGs.
Check out our World Standards Day episode on the feed, which is on how BS 3416, the new game-changing standard on menstrual and menopausal health in the workplace, is already making a difference to organisations and supporting SDG 3 for good health and well-being. Well, thank you, Cindy Parakill.
Thank you, Matthew Charles.
For October 2023, that's the Standards Desk of News.
You have been listening to the Standards Desk of News from The Standard Show. Subscribe to The Standard Show now, wherever you get your podcasts.
You just heard a Stripped Media production.